Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu-alaikum. Jiayanu, Pakhairagale, Ni Hao, Chunishumme, Washmale. Ohaya Gozaimas, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifa Hal, Halishuma Chatore, Ahlan Wasal Marhaba. Buna, mucho gracias, Swabia, Balli Karaya. Hoş geldin and Ayasayo, Huyamora, Chibato, Chihaljot, Kalimera, Khairutan. And a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV watching World this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really lucky that after a while, I've been rejoined by my wonderful, very well-learned colleague who happens to be Miss Hajra Satti. I happen to be Shahzad Khan, and we hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your day with us. But first things first, hello Hajra, assalamu alaikum, how are you feeling today?
Walaikum assalam, thank you so much for introducing me. It's very, very cold. We are going to delve into the weather later, but now let's talk about the headlines that are dominating the international media, the international scenario, which is President Donald Trump has taken the oath as the 47th President of United States of America. It is his historic second term, and after pledging, he has ordered the immediate blitz of orders on the immigration, with one hand raised in the air and other on a Bible given to him by his mother. 47th President of the United States solemnly took the oath of the office beneath the huge row-town of the U.S. Capitol. Republican Trump and outgoing Democratic President Joe Biden had earlier traveled by motorcade together to the Capitol, where the ceremony was held indoors with a much smaller crowd for the first time in the decades due to the frigid weather. In his inaugural address, Trump said he is confident and optimistic he returns to the White House with a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal, referring to the last 4 years under his predecessor, Joe Biden. And obviously, President Asif Ali Zardari, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif have also extended their heartfelt congratulations to the Donald Trump on his assumption of the office as the 47th President of the United States. The leaders expressed their best wishes for the newly elected American president and reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening the long-standing partnership between Pakistan and U.S. Zardari has also conveyed his congratulations, expressing the hopes for a continued cooperation between the two nations, and noted that Pakistan and U.S. have a long worked together for peace and prosperity, and he remained optimistic about the future.
Exactly. From global politics now, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you to global, probably when we are to kind of speak about weather, because I think that's where our conversation actually got started from as well. Right. While I was in Lahore, it wasn't really that cold, but as soon as I landed in Islamabad, I was like, oh my God, what's happening? So for everybody who's out there, whether you need to be warm or not, ladies and gentlemen, Met Office has predicted rain, windstorm with snow over hills in northwest Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Gilgit-Baltistan, Kashmir and adjoining areas during the next 24 hours. So probably I think it's the best idea to actually keep yourself warm. According to Met Office, rain, windstorm with snow over hills is likely in northwest Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Gilgit-Baltistan, Kashmir and adjoining areas. It said cold and dry weather is expected in other parts of the country. Light to moderate fog in patches is likely to persist in most districts of Punjab and Upper Sindh. So if you're traveling, please make sure that you travel during the daytime. Met Office informed that moderate to few heavy snowfall may cause road closure and slippery conditions in Quetta, Ziyarat, Chaman, Pishin, Kila Abdullah, Kila Saifullah, Naran Kagan, Chitral, Di, Swat, Kohistan, Shangla and Gilgit-Baltistan. So everybody, please make sure that you guys kind of look after yourselves and your family members. In addition to this, there's been snowfall in different parts of the country. True. So much awaited rain in the plains and snowfall in the upper regions of Hazara division have caused a sharp increase in cold across the region. The Kagan Valley and Galiat have been blanketed in heavy snow, transforming the landscape into a picturesque winter wonderland. In the Kagan Valley, tourist hotspots including Shugra, Kagan, Naran and Batakundi have received significant snowfall. Shugra has recorded over 6 inches of snow, Kagan Bazar nearly 3 inches and Naran approximately 1 foot. Similarly, Galiat has also experienced heavy snowfall with snow-covered roads and icy conditions adding to the region's charm, but also posing challenges for the transportation.
Right, and I think this is how we see the coldness creeping into the Pakistan, and for Islamabad is experiencing very cold and dry winters, and I hope and wish that we experience the rainfall soon, because coldness brings with itself a lot of other diseases such as coughing. True. And I feel that a lot of people in Islamabad, they experience this coughing and fever and whatnot. But now moving on to another very important segment, and I think we have talked about it plenty of times, in our program, which is the women empowerment and how to make sure that there is a visible representation of women out there. There have been a lot of conversations on the feminist fronts, but what needs to be done, what sort of conversations we need to make sure that the women empowered, not just in the posh areas or in the rural urban areas, but what about the women in the rural areas too. So to further explain that, and there's also a festival that is being held under the auspices of British Council. We're very glad that we have been joined by Maarya Rehman. She happens to be Deputy Director of the British Council. Assalamu alaikum, Maarya, and thank you so much for joining us.
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
It's an absolute pleasure having you here. So Maarya, let's start a conversation. There's a WOW festival going on. It's an acronym for something. Please delve into it and tell us the details.
So the WOW festival is the Women of the World festival, and it's a global festival that happens, that happens all over the world. And in Pakistan, we're really proud that we've been running it for 8 years in a row. Right. We've had it in Karachi, we've had it in Hunza, we've had it digitally, and this year we will be having it in Lahore at the Al-Hamra festival on the 1st and 2nd of February.
How about Islamabad?
Oh, inshallah, one day.
Okay.
Exactly, but you know, since we are speaking about WOW Festival, it's the Women of the World, right? And if we are to kind of speak about women empowerment as well and how British Council is actually contributed, let's speak about the significance of this festival. And every year you have a different theme. So what theme are you going to represent this time around?
So this year's theme is especially beautiful, I think. The theme is Surkhab. And what it tries to explore, is the inherent beauty of women that isn't attached to what they do, their background, the work they do, the number of children they have. It's just about valuing women as women. Right. And humans as humans, but in particular, Surkhab is the Women of the World theme, and the festival, I should add, is a celebration of women. The founder, Jude Kelly, felt that often when we talk about women, we talk about their hardship or the problems they face, but we don't celebrate them enough. We don't create safe spaces where they can come together and define a festival, define their own themes and their own challenges in the country or in the context that they live in.
But how come you are I mean, yes, I appreciate the concept that you're celebrating it, right? But there are lots of different methods to celebrate. It is some sort of an event where there are going to be, some sort of cultural functions that are going to be held, or is there going to be some sort of workshops? Please explain it in the detail. How do you want to celebrate women?
So I'll begin by saying that the idea of inclusion is at the heart of everything WOW stands for. So we bring together women from all walks of life. So again, academics, artists, working class women, middle class women, policy makers. And the idea is when they get together, they can share what they want, what they need, the challenges they face, and the successes that they have. And this idea of inclusion is at the heart of everything we do, because we genuinely believe, the British Council, that when people from different backgrounds come together, we make a better, more positive, bigger change in society.
And is there any specifics to how you bring women into this program? I mean, the Western conception of the feminism is a lot under fire and the critique, because that inclusion and diversity is just limited for the few women out there. It's not very inclusive.
I mean, I think it's really important to say that men are such an important part of this conversation. And the festival, which, by the way, will have artists performing, it will have people from different communities, it will have readings, musical performances, artists, policy dialogues. They all include men as well. It's a female-focused festival, but we all understand how important it is to bring men into that conversation.
Thank you so much for saying that, you know, because we've had conversations on that as well. And, you know, in your perspective, when you bring men in this conversation, because we are talking about inclusivity over here, we're talking about empowering women, but yes, how do you think that men actually play a role in making sure that the women of their household are empowered, if that's what the perception needs to be?
How do we, well, I think the key word here is allyship. So men need to support women. They need to understand intrinsic values like the right to an education. We truly believe that when you educate a woman, you improve the whole of society. A woman who goes to school and can read and write will have children who will have better outcomes in life. Women contributing to the economy will actually improve Pakistan's prosperity and its future. So the idea really is that when everyone improves their outcomes, the country as a whole benefits. There is genuinely a moral and an economic and a logical argument here for.
And where my colleague actually asked about, how, it might be from women from certain groups, right? But this is something that we discussed about, while we were in our makeup room. Yes, we do get our makeup done as well early in the morning. You spoke about how, it's not only in Peshawar, Lahore, Islamabad, Karachi, or the bigger or the urban centers as well, but British Council is trying to reach out to women in rural areas. So how is it, do you think that it's challenging, and how do you make them understand that this is something that will help you be empowered in life?
Well, I think it's, again, the British Council is a cultural relations organization, and we truly believe it's through communication, connection, building trust and understanding through the work that we do, that we share our values and increase trust. So for us, we're really proud that we work in 37 cities around Pakistan, that we deliver exams, giving people access to world-class qualifications all across Pakistan. Over 1 million young people took a qualification through the British Council in the last 18 months. That means 230,000 young people.
And 20,000 more scholarships, I guess.
And let's talk about scholarships.
Yeah.
We're really proud of our partnership with the Scottish Government. Through them, we give scholarships to really bright women who, because of their economic situation, might not be able to continue university or school. 20,000 young women across Pakistan have been able to continue their education at school, university, and at the master's level. And again, they are better skilled and equipped to contribute to Pakistan's future.
But Maarya, I would like to dissect certain dichotomy or certain strands of women empowerment or feminism here, right? So whenever we see such sort of events happening, they are usually, I would say, monopolized by one strand, a dominant strand of women empowerment. And in South Asia, for example, in our Pakistani tradition, or if we see it beyond that, we've seen that women were empowered, but in a different role. So for example, we've seen that how Fatima Jinnah, who was the sister of Quaid-e-Azam, she never got married because she wanted to take care of her brother, and she wanted to take part in the independence struggle against the British colonial Raj, right? And then we see that a lot of other women who actually participated against the colonialism, right? We see Begum Rana Liaquat Ali Khan, she was very instrumental in the independence movement. So the struggle of the women was very community centered, right? They were looking after the entire communities, and this is how they celebrated their existence. But the Western strand is very individualistic, right? Do you think that the such sort of events are promoting or dissecting the monopoly of one particular strand of women empowerment, or you also incorporating the third world voices, the indigenous voices?
You've so beautifully captured what I think Women of the World Festival is about. It's women of the world. And at the heart of our festival is this idea that, like I said, diversity contributes to better outcomes. So we make sure that we're working with women, not just from an elite background, but from all over Pakistan. We make sure they come to our festival. We help them to come to our festival from around the world. We also make sure the festival is designed by these women from different backgrounds, including, by the way, women with disabilities.
Right.
And we do a lot to make sure the festival itself is inclusive. We'll have ramps, we'll have braille, we'll have sign language interpreters with our partners Deaf Talk. We really mean it when we say we want to be inclusive. It's a free festival, so you don't have to pay to come in. So again, we're trying to make sure that structurally people are able to come to the festival.
So basically there are standard operating procedures, and that's how you actually go about it, and merit is being ensured. And in addition to this, there's one more aspect to it as well, obviously, while my wonderful colleague was speaking about Fatima Jinnah and Begum Rana Liaquat as well. Not just that, I think not to forget, may it be Benazir Bhutto Sahiba. In addition to this, I think there's one more point and aspect that we discuss, and that is that we can offer scholarships to bright students. They can go, they can study, we can go to rural areas, we can make it inclusive. But it's the quality of education that will really matter. Now imagine that there can be somebody who's been going to school for 10 years but yet might not know anything or everything. So imagine they might not able to write or probably reproduce in their own words and whatnot. How do you ensure that it's the quality of education which will have its impact on people's personality, and that they will be smarter than they were before coming to WOW?
Gosh, what a question. Well, the Prime Minister's declared an education emergency because we do feel that there's a lot to do around improving the quality of education. At the British Council, we're delighted that we're working with the UK government to deliver a program that helps girls and out-of-school children not only return to school, but also to improve their learning when they are at school. So we work with teachers and head teachers to ensure that the quality of education is improved. wow these messages, the importance of education, the importance of valuing a girl and her education, central to the festival, and hopefully this is part of a bigger picture, and we're all contributing to the same outcomes, which is a more literate, a more educated, a more cohesive society. And you know,
and that's exactly what I would want to know. You know, if we are to kind of speak about outcomes as well, and you know, since it's British Council, I do know that their standard operating procedures, meritocracy is being ensured as well. How do you make sure that you get those results that you would really want to see? Now, imagine if there are 20,000 scholarships, or probably 1 million students out there, you know, who British Council have been looking after. How do you realize, or how do you get to know, is there any process, examination or something with which you can say with a fact that, you know, hey, you know what, that the quality of education has gone up, you know, people are smarter now, people are more empowered, women are more empowered. How do you check that?
Well, the pace of progress isn't immediate. It won't happen tomorrow.
Okay.
And, you know, at the council, we've been in Pakistan for 77 years. We've been here since 1948. And we know that change happens over the long term. Yeah. And we know it only happens...
It's been quite long now.
It happens with partnerships. Yep. And it happens through relationship building. True. And it takes time. And we are here for the long term. Wonderful. We're committed to being in Pakistan for the long term and working with people. We can't do it alone.
True.
Working with our partners. Working
here
with
we are. Hey, kudos.
Right. So, Maarya, we've seen that, I mean, there are lots of discourses that have been generated on the feminism. I mean, there were voices from the third world, women voices which have dissected the first world conversations about the feminism. What sort of conversations do you think we need to have? How far we have come across? And I find this very interesting research that British Council has provided, that you're also going to launch a sustainable fashion report, right? So, you know, tell us about the report. What are main findings, key findings, please?
Well, I'm going to leave the report launch and its findings for WOW, and I really urge people to come to the WOW Festival and find out more. But
why specifically for sustainable fashion?
So the textile industry in Pakistan is an enormous sector in the country, and it offers an incredible opportunity for young people in particular to find opportunities for work, to import Pakistani goods internationally. And there is a massive need for sustainable approaches to fashion. And by sustainable, I mean, let's bear in mind climate change and all the challenges that we face around water and and conserving water, for example, and also ethical practices as well. Are we paying the people who deliver this industry for us appropriately? So there's a lot here, and there's a huge opportunity for Pakistan to be a part of the sustainable fashion market. So we're going to share our findings, what the opportunities are and what the challenges are. And it's also a woman heavy industry as well. So it's connected very much to women of the world.
Exactly. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Maarya, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you, and really thankful what British Council is doing for the women of Pakistan as well, and making sure that they actually promote equality, not just that, inclusive education as well. But while we're at it, thank you so much. And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, you know, I think she hit the nail on the head where she said that it's all about partnerships. I think everybody needs to work together towards women empowerment, making sure that education is more inclusive. We're heading out towards a short break. Once you guys will come back, there's somebody who's actually joining us over here inside the studios, whose mother actually saw a dream, Hajra, and she saw that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to her and said that your son will spread the teachings of Quran in the world via calligraphy. I mean, that will be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. After a short break, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Good morning.
Welcome back, and before going on to the break, Shahzad alluded to the sort of conversation that we want to develop now, and it's related to the calligraphy. And calligraphy is an art form, so Muslims have their own, at the zenith of their civilization, Muslim excelled in the calligraphy, and it still is being worked on. But I would say that the art forms in Pakistan, we need to focus more on that, because they are presenting us so much in terms of emotional value, in terms of inner richer experiences, the human experiences, the rich inner life that we experience. And in order to further delve into the conversation, because the gentleman who is present in the studio, he has described calligraphy as a therapeutic art form. what does that exactly means? And we also have his parchments lying here, because parchment is something that was considered to be an old form of the communication. Now paper has replaced it. Why has he chosen the parchment for that? And there are also very interesting stones on this parchment. So you can see the akik, you can see other pearls, and they are all real stones. And so how can we further promote this particular art, and what inspired him to delve into this? Because calligraphy is a very, very difficult art form, and it's very difficult to master it. We're very glad that we have been joined by Azeem Iqbal. Assalamu alaikum, Azeem, and thank you so much for joining
Wa
us.
alaikum assalam.
So Azeem, let's kickstart this conversation. What inspired you to delve into this very interesting art form, yet very difficult to master?
It is my dream of mother.
Okay.
My mother dream, Syed dream, about in that time, the golden prophet time, when the Quran revealed, and I'm that time calligraphist. I make 6 different of things, different material of calligraphy, depict on the Ahd Nabawi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and presented my mother to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Wow.
And the Prophet said, is a gentleman, Azeem Iqbal, go and give my mother a camel and some
Dates?
some stones, some leather, some 6 different things,
Okay.
scroll, and go your son and the flourish the spread of the Holy Quran, peace, harmony, all over the world. That's the dream.
Right.
I am still working.
And then when your mother came to you and shared that, you know, that's the dream that I've seen for you, how did you respond to it? Were you already, you know, into calligraphy back then, or then after that you initiated with calligraphy?
No. In early age, I'm in school from Mia Chanu. In the school age, I'm 5. There is a scale of takhti,
Yep.
handmade takhti,
Yep.
we are written every time we read the
Right.
kalam,
Yes.
khatati, yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's great. So, you know, this is how Azeem Iqbal sir
But I
actually started
think
calligraphy.
that's very interesting that you have chosen parchment
Yeah.
and you have not chosen paper. Why is it the parchment that you have chosen to do that? And it's a very interesting and colorful blend of the paintings that you can see how there's a interesting blend of very bright blue, and we've also seen this blue lot in the mosque's interior, because it's something
Yep.
that is very Islamic architecture. And then you see this Kufic, particularly the Kufic form of the calligraphy. So sir, please go ahead and explain to us, you know, why parchment?
When the Quran revealed, in 6 different materials they used in the past calligrapher.
Yep.
Limestone, leather, skin, and the skin papers, and the silk cloth. These things I use in my paintings, in my calligraphy. Its name is Azeem Art.
Okay.
Kya baat hai?
Azeem Art is established in 91.
Right.
Is the collage different leather, the base you see in my
So
calligraphy
it can
art.
be hides as well, it can be leather, it can be lambskin, yes.
Collage is the form of variations, evolution of Islamic art, evolution of calligraphy in the subcontinent and all over the world.
Okay, but that's a good point as well. But in addition to this, obviously since 91, you know, Azeem Arts actually came into being as well. How did you transform your calligraphy? You know, because imagine when we are to speak about the evolution of the art, you know, that's something that you could actually see in the past manuscripts as well. How do you think that your calligraphy has evolved over time, and do you think that it will always have its impact in the for the people to come into calligraphy probably in later years?
In 87, I joined the Pakistan National Council of Arts, and a teacher in the Rawalpindi Arts Council. There I teach a different kind of calligraphy, and this experience, I have changed the calligraphy style, calligraphy mediums, calligraphy evolution, and just like you see my calligraphy in this craftsmanship of the Ahd Nabawi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in that time, inspiration, my inspiration Satkan. Satkan inspiration is a very bold and enamel paint. But I think my inspirations Satkan, but my dream, mother dream is the Ahd Nabawi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's things. changed my mind, and I continuously the Ahd al-Nabawi sallallahu alaihi wasallam style.
But Azeem, one thing that is very prominent in the paintings that you've brought here and that are also being broadcasted on our show is that there's no human face or miniature there, right? It's all the calligraphy, it's all the eye arts, and it's all the very interesting geometrical signs. I don't know, how do you explain it? And it is also said that the calligraphy is also has a meditative power. Do you believe that's a right assertion, that it instills into you mindfulness that we really crave in this modern world with all of the distortion and the stringed attention span of the reels? How do you describe your experience?
As an artist, I execution the National Monument Museum and other things, and the Book Foundation Museum. I also painter and the sculptor, but my soul is need the light, my body mud, just like creation, the God mud, and I need the verses of the Holy Quran, and my soul, the peace and rest, maybe, in this calligraphy. In this, and the 5 years later, I'm used in Ab Zamzam in my calligraphy for divine feelings, for the divine feelings.
And not just that, in addition to this, obviously your artwork has actually been presented to 35 world leaders as well, alhamdulillah, so wherever you probably go, you'll see your own art pieces. But while we are here, sir, and since we have the opportunity and you've brought your pen, why don't you do it for our audiences, so that we can kind of are able to learn?
The traditional pen,
the
feather pen,
quill, right?
and in the early age, the Prophet era, the caliphs read some calligraphy in this pen, and later on the kalam, the creation, the God creation, the kalam.
Right.
Noon wal kalam amma yafsarun. First things, the God, Allah Almighty, create the kalam.
Right.
The kalam, creation, the kalam. All the knowledge of the God in the universal and or the humanity is in the kalam.
और कलम से कहा कि जो आज तक होना है वो सब लिख दो.
Right. And Azeem Saab, can I ask you, blue is a very prominent color in your paintings. Why particularly focus on blue? Does it have some sort of emotive value to you? Please explain us to it.
Blue color is the knowledge colors, sky colors.
Interesting.
I think.
Right.
Because it's reflective, just keep it at an angle.
Right. And when are you doing the calligraphy? It is said, because you're the artist, you will explain us to us, that it requires a lot of mental attention and mental focus. Is this a right assertion? And how is your cultural identity expressed through this calligraphy? And there's also Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim written behind it. So it's beautiful. So please go ahead and answer.
You see in my calligraphy, in the first part of evolution, the Khat of Harry, the Prophet era Harry Khat, and then the Kufic, and then the evolution of Khatem Suls, Khate Nasakh, Nastalik, and then these qualities of my art, you see calligraphy art, sculptures art.
So it all comes from how the calligraphy art was actually in the Prophet era as well, alhamdulillah. And coming back to the kalam as well, because you brought in a lot of kalams with you. So how did it evolve? I think is something that we would love to see.
Kalam, noon wal kalam amma yastaru. These kalams pen is from bamboos in the handmade papers.
So this is a handmade
papers. And the Surah Rehman.
Subhanallah.
Surah Rehman.
Have you done it yourself?
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's very difficult to achieve. And Azeem Saab, I would like to delve into it, because if you see the painting that is in my hand, and if I can get a close-up, so there are a lot of pearls inside it. And these are the real pearls. This is what Azeem Saab has told us. And it has not just the pearls, there are different stones. For example, you see this green stone, the aqiq, which is lying here. So why particularly focus on the pearls and the aqiq? Is there any particular connection? Because it is said that the stones, they also carry some sort of value, and it's also in the tradition in our hadith to wear some sort of stones.
In Abbasin period, the king of and the different Muslim empires who have gold leaf in use in calligraphy, in Holy Quran, the miniature border, and Tehzeeb Kari, and the ink of these manuscript from the real stones, grind on the real stones, and then application on the Basili, application of the border, Mazayan border.
Right, and that must be very expensive procedure,
yes,
right?
yeah.
And is it still done here? What, Azeem sir, what, as someone who is very expert in this field and you have this platform, you know, how would you like to address the gaps that are present in the calligraphy? Do you feel that we need to promote this art? And if there are any particular, I would say, gaps in this particular art form that you would like to say, or, you know, ask the government to patronize it more, please go ahead and tell us.
I think in these media generation civilizations now, in our age, no Google, no YouTube.
Yeah.
In these, I'm teacher in Rawalpindi Arts Council. Lot of opportunity to students to deliver. I deliver lot of knowledge because in these days, people like my art. Students very encouraging my art, and I think the new generation to lot of creation work, artwork,
Azeem
Islamic
sir,
art.
that brings us a very interesting question, and it's that do you feel this new technology, for example, artificial intelligence, or when we see, say, in the form of the art form, the Adobes and all of these softwares that are placed here, do you see them as a threat to the calligraphy art form, or do you feel that we can take them along, incorporate in their lives, and I mean popularize this art form even more and more, especially all of these ayats and surahs that you have written?
Unfortunately, the two waves. First wave, handmade things, is a very valuable thing.
Yes,
Because we are promote our art and culture according to the civilization. The modern civilization need, and the new students feel the new technology of science and new technology of writing and new adopt computers. Therefore, I every time oblige and every time to pray for the new technology, for the creation of new ideas for the peace and harmony, the meanings of the Holy Quran.
And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Azeem bhai.
Azeem Saab, and I think this is what we need to take it, that we do not need to consider technology as a threat, because technology is here to stay, and we need to learn to live with that, and we need to incorporate it in our lives in order to make sure that the calligraphy art form survives, and the beauty that is being presented in the parchments, you can see in the mosque, in the different architecture of the Muslims, it remains alive with us, and we do not lose it in the vast swings of the digital era. Thank you so much once again, Azeem Saab, for being here, for delving into this beautiful art form, and for inspiring us, and for transporting me back to the prophetic era, because the parchment were a very prominent feature back then. We're going on a short break. After we come back, we have a very, very interesting segment.
Another
Don't go
art form,
anywhere.
though.
Yeah. Don't go anywhere, and we will be right back shortly. Good morning. Welcome back, and we are very glad that once again it's an honor that we have been joined by amazing puppeteers. So without any further ado and without further monopolizing our conversation, I would give our stage to them, and I would like to briefly introduce them. We are very glad that we have been joined by Naeem Rehman Talpur Saab. Assalamu alaikum, Naeem Rehman Saab.
Ms. Shamsa Akram and then Mr. Ghulam Abbas. So please take over. Go ahead.
भाई कैसे हैं आप लोग? I hope everyone is okay and fine. And well, Uncle Halpur's adventure is here. I have my team, Miss Bijli with me, and Mr. Chakri, always busy to do something bad. So, Miss Bijli, what is your adventure today?
First of all, please ask me how are you?
Oh, okay. How are you, Chakri and Mr. Bijli?
Thank you, Uncle Halpur. I'm fine, but Chakri is fan.
You're fine, and Chakri is fan. I can't understand that.
Oh, I mean to say I am fine, I am good, but Chakri is like fan.
Oh!
He is moving around, round and round, round and round.
You mean the ceiling fell, moving around and round and round?
Yeah.
Ah,
So
you mean-
that we called Chakkarbaz and Chakri.
Well said. Mr. Chakri, look at what she's saying about you.
hello, how are you?
कैसी हैं?
आप कैसे हैं?
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, good.
But she's saying you are fan. You move like fan. जिस तरह आप दुनिया को चक्कर दे रहे हैं.
I'm not Chakri. I am.
Do numbri.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, it's very much. Well, Mr. Chakri, and tell me about your adventure.
I am not talking English.
No, you can talk in Urdu, no problem. I can translate for you.
Oh,
इंग्लिश
my
में चक्कर
God.
नहीं दे सकते
यही तो इंग्लिश की कमाल है.
Uncle Halpur,
Yes, 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 my dear.
Uncle Chakri's adventure only is eating, cheating, and sleeping.
And fitting, you know, always fit. You know, this all things makes Mr. Chakri.
Yes,
English.
exactly.
सर कह रहे हैं इंग्लिश में चक्कर नहीं हो सकता. वो मैंने शुरू में देखा ना @ लिखा होता है. मैंने पहली दफा जब देखा ना @ तो मैंने कहा भजन ए को चक्कर दिया हुआ है ना.
And honestly, Miss Bijli, when he called me very first time, and he said he was trying to give me someone's email address, and he said blah 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 blah, and at the end, when he was supposed to say @ he said, Uncle Halpur, एक को चक्कर दिया हुआ है.
जब स्कूल तो नहीं गया इसलिए.
अच्छा मुझे
बस
पता
में
है
रहता है.
बिजली मुझे इंग्लिश आती है. मैं बोल के दिखाऊं.
कब आती है?
बोल के दिखाऊं आपको.
बोलो.
इंग्लिश.
Oh my God.
But I would say to my team, you know, especially my dear audience, these type of characters always have fun, and they're always humble. They're always honest with us, but they have fun all the time. And Miss Bijli, do you want to say anything? Any today's message you want to give to our people?
Yes. Don't touch me.
Yeah, Bijli.
Don't allow your children to touch me
Yes.
when their hands are wet.
Yes.
Yes, so be careful. I am
Yes.
so good, but I am so harmful for them.
See, electricity, my dear audience, especially kids, electricity is good, but sometimes it's very dangerous. So please don't touch, especially when your hands are wet.
Especially, Chakri, don't touch me and don't talk with me, okay?
अच्छा डोंट टच मी की बच्ची. मैंने तो आपके अंकल से भी मिला हूँ. आपका अंकल पता है कौन सा वाला?
मेरे कौन से अंकल थे?
जनरेटर. मैंने कहा हाउ आर यू, आगे से कहता फा 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 फा. मैंने कहा हाउ आर यू, आगे से कहता फा 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 फा.
तो जब फप कर रहा था मेरा अंकल, तो उस पे 2 स्टेप मार लेने थे तुमने.
मैंने तो मार लेने थे लेकिन उनके पास जगह नहीं थी.
All right, so I have a question for Uncle Halpur
Yes,
as well.
yes, please,
So
please.
Uncle Halpur, you've been a very regular visitor to our program.
I'm honored.
I mean, we always like your work as well, but why are you unable to fix Chacha Chakri till date? You know, why is Chacha Chakri still Chakri?
The thing is, you know, you can change people, but you cannot change the habits. So it's his part of habit, and I enjoy his habits. I do enjoy that.
So Uncle Halpur, that means that you're actually a Chakri too as well because you enjoy his habits?
No, that's it, because I don't give chakkars, so I really surprised that way he gives the chakkars. Honestly speaking.
But you might have a solution for Chacha Chakri.
The only solution is to give him more money.
आप देखें चाचा चक्री इतना फेम हुआ है, मोटरवे पे मेरे नाम का स्टॉप रखा है उन्होंने, चक्री स्टॉप.
तो आपने वहाँ के लोग अभी आपको ढूंढ भी रहे हैं.
और वहाँ पे इतने चक्कर हैं कि you can't believe it.
किसी टाइम जाओ और वहाँ पे फौत हो जाओ तुम.
वो तो सबने होना है, पहले तुमने होना है, बाद में मैं हूँ.
बिजली नहीं जा सकती, बिजली आएगी जाएगी. I am coming, I am going, I am coming, I am going.
And Shahzad, let me tell you,
Yeah.
they are not my team, but I consider they are my family.
Wonderful.
Honestly speaking, the way they, you know, parents love when kids fight together, they have different things. And honestly speaking, on our daily life, I mean, on a normal life, even they are not puppeteer,
Yep.
they try to, you know, saying funny things to each other. And that gives me clue for my script.
Right, and Naeem sir, one last question before
Please.
we wrap
Yep.
up this segment.
Please.
How do you believe that this art form of puppeteering, which was so prominent feature of Pakistan's landscape, which is now dying, how can we revive it back?
Yes, this why I'm trying to, we are starting, luckily by grace of Allah,
Right.
we are starting new program on PTV World.
Wonderful.
And we are using these puppets. We are also using string puppets.
Right.
And I want that these puppets should go to schools, that they, when they have art classes.
And I'm going to give it a try as well. So, you know,
Yes,
why don't-
please.
Why don't you share Uncle Halpur with me? I would want to have it on my hand as
Uncle
well.
Halpur, goodbye.
Can we have your baby over here?
Yeah. So you have to
All
put
right.
your hand inside.
Yeah, I'm
right?
going to try. Give it
अच्छा
a try.
अचानक इतने हालपुर लंबे हो गए हैं.
जरा
नहीं,
पकड़ते हैं,
मैं पकड़ता हूँ.
Yeah.
Actually, देखिए, let me tell you, my audience,
Yeah,
the
sure.
puppet, when you put your hand, basically your feelings will
It's like this,
transform.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to hold the both hands.
Yeah.
You have to transfer your feelings through your arm to the puppet. Simply become
all right.
alive. Yes,
All right,
exactly.
so I'm just shy right now. But I think because it's about time that we really need to say goodbye.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Uncle Halpur, and
I'm
thank you
honored,
so much, Bijli. Thank you so much, Chacha Chakri. Please get better as well.
Thank you.
And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, look at the every minute detail, the shoes that Uncle Halpur is wearing. So I'm going to
Yes.
give it a try, okay?
And
so this is a goodbye from Uncle Halpur.
And it's
Thank
a
you.
goodbye. It's a goodbye because we really,
See you,
really short
inshallah.
our time. Inshallah.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
everybody.